Jai Hind all of you. I am Harsh Mohan Sharma, Assistant Professor in Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Here I am going to teach you the subject Basic Signals and System. Its AKTU code is KEE303. So let's get started. So what is a signal? Signal basically is a quantity which basically have some information, right? So it can be defined as a function which is having some physical quantity, and that physical quantity is basically depending upon another independent quantity, and that independent quantity can be just like time is here, force, position, distance, like this. So any of the independent quantity could be there. So that is known as a signal, and if it is having some kind of information, then we can say that yes, this is kind of a signal. Now in electrical engineering we find that there's a number of signals, just like current is there, voltage is there. So these are basically signals which are depending upon time. Time is basically independent, so they are dependent upon the time. So in the y-axis we can say that there is a amplitude or the strength of the signal, or the strength of the voltage or the current wave, and it is depending upon the time. So in this system, in this lecture, or we can say that the subject, we are going to deal with T only. Okay, so this is the independent quantity, and several examples of these signals are just like for electrical signal. If we talk about electrical, there voltage signal is there, current signal is there in a circuit, and acoustic signals are basically those signals which are just like audio signals is acoustic signals, speech signals, just like I am speaking and you are hearing. So this is one of the acoustic signal, right? So analog or digital kind of signals are known as acoustic signal. After that, video signals is there, so which can be visible. So these are known as video signals. Intensity variations is there, and images, so they can be treated as video signals. Okay, so a CAT scan is there. So this is actually the just like a CT scan through which we can have the actual performance of the condition of the internal body parts. So just like it is for checking out the proper functioning of any organ, just like this only. Then biological signals. So biological signals is basically a sequence of bases or genes, so just like DNA and RNA. So they are actually the sequences, so they are known as biological signals. So noise is also there. So noise is although an unwanted signal only, so although that is a signal, right? So this is the basics of signal. Now if you want to measure a signal, so how the signal can be measured? See, there are two axes. First is this and second one is this. So most of the time it is seen that this is treated as x-axis and this is treated as y-axis. For this kind of particularly measurement of the signal, and which the signals which are depending upon the time. So see, the main criteria of representing a signal is that on the y-axis always dependent quantity is taken, and on the x-axis independent quantity is taken. See, on the x-axis independent quantity means that just like a time. Okay, so time is independent. Time is not going to change for two different persons. So for time is always same. So this is independent, and the magnitude or the value of the signal which is changing with respect to time can be represented from this y-axis, right? So here we can see that this is a voltage wave. This can be considered as a voltage wave which is changing with respect to time, and here we can see that this is the amplitude of this signal, or we can say that the strength of the signal, and the time period. Okay, so although we know that this is a sinusoidal signal and it will repeat itself after a particular interval of time, so this is that interval of time only, that is known as periodic signal also, and this is the time period of the signal, right? So there are some definitions. So let's start. So voltage is there. So what is voltage? How can the voltage how you can define the voltage? See, voltage can be treated as a force. Okay, so it can be a force which moves an electric circuit against the resistance. So yes, we know that if we are having a resistance and some voltage source, right? So the actual function of the resistance is to resist the current to flow through the circuit. Now this voltage will force this current to flow through this resistance, right? So yes, we can define voltage as a force which drives the current into the resistance, right? Then it is waveform. So what is this waveform? So it is just like we have seen in the previous slide, that the shape of the wave, so that is known as waveform. So the shape of this signal, in the previous slide a sinusoidal signal was shown, and it is derived from the amplitude and the frequency of the signal. So we have already talked about amplitude and the frequency time into the previous slide. Basically if we are talking about the time, so we are ultimately talking about the frequency only. So they are actually follow the reverse relationship. Okay, then amplitude, so it is the maximum value of a signal measured from its average state. Okay, so this is the amplitude. So in the previous slide we have shown I have shown you the amplitude with respect to a signal only. Then frequency, so the number of cycles. So we all know that the number of cycles per second is actually known as the frequency, and it is calculated in hertz. So what is the actually use of frequency? It denotes the speed of the processor, just like we are talk about the different processor of CPUs only, laptops only, and then they are having some refresh rate also. So the CPU or the processor which have we can say that the highest number of highest frequency, so that can be refreshed themselves, or they can refresh themselves in less number of time. Okay, so this is actually the here are examples: 1.4 gigahertz, and this actually means that there are 1.4 billion cycles per second, right? So this is all about frequency. Time period, so we will again discuss this time period once we are going to discuss about the periodic waveforms or periodic signals. So what is this actually? Time period is actually the time after which the signal repeats itself, is known as time period. Now we are going to discuss about the classification of signals. So there are basically, we have to, in this subject we have to discuss about 5 types of classification. They are actually the continuous and discontinuous, and discontinuous is actually known as discrete time signal. After that, even and odd signal, and periodic and aperiodic signal, then deterministic and random signal. Random signals are also known as non-deterministic signal. After that, we will discuss about energy and power signal. So let's discuss them one by one. Continuous time signal or discrete time signal, so they are abbreviated as DT and CT. Okay, so continuous time signals takes on real complex values as a function of an independent variable that ranges over any real number and is denoted by x of t. Okay, so what does this mean? This actually means that if you are having a signal like that, okay, so in this signal we can see that from this point to this point, a number of values are available within this frame, and for each value, if we talk about from -3 to -5 to -4, at each value we will get some sort of amplitude. Okay, so we can say that if we increase the time from 0 plus, we can say the -4 plus something, just like a little bit of time, only a small amount of time is added. After that also we can have some amplitude of this signal, right? So we can say that this signal is presenting, the signal is present all over the time interval. So on any of the real or the complex value, that is of the independent variable, this is the independent variable, it will have some value. Okay, it will have some amplitude. So this is actually known as continuous time signal. And see, this continuous time signal is represented by x of t. This is round brackets. Okay, so I'll come to that also after discussing this discrete time signal. See, discrete time signal is actually same value, or we can define the discrete time signal into the same manner just like a CT, but the difference is that instead of time period we will have samples. So what is sample? So actually the samples are the integral values only. In here we were taking real or the complex values. Now we will take only integral values, right? So here we can see that during this interval there are -4, -2, or see here also -3 is there, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So there are different integral values at which we are having some amplitude, right? So this is all, this is known as discrete time signal. So it is not present over, it is only here and here, right? So this is discrete. So this is represented by x of square bracket n, right? So this is one of the difference in the representation of the discrete time or continuous time signal. So it can be just like from the representation only we can find out which is continuous, which is discrete. And see, n is representing samples over here, it is not time. This has to be notice that this is samples over here. Samples means it will have some range from -4 to +4, right? So they are samples. And we can also represent this discrete time signal in one of the more forms, which is x of nt, where t is a time period, or we can say that a particular instant. So in that instance also we can have a signal value. So this is also the representation. And x of nt, right, like this also. Okay, so during this this representation can be done for CT and DT signals. Okay, so this is also represented over here. The square brackets and the parentheses are used for CT and DT signals, right? Secondly, we will talk about even and odd signal. See, what is even signal, what is odd signal? A signal, see, if you are having a signal x of t, and if you are supposed to take the negative of that signal, that is image of that signal. So x of t, it will have image as x of -t. So if x of t is equals to x of -t, we will say that yes, that signal is even signal. That's it, right? So one of the example is cos of omega t. See, this is cos signal, and if we take the image of this signal along this vertical axis, so this signal will be flipped, and after flipping the signal will remain same. So x of t will be equal to x of -t. So this is known as even signal. Opposite to that, if a signal is odd signal, what will be the condition? So here the condition is x of t, see, x of t equals to minus times of x of -t. See, you have to calculate x of -t. So we are comparing x of t with x of -t. We are comparing just the images, actual signal with the image of the signal, or this is also known as time reversal of the signal. Once we will study about the this operations on the independent variable, we will find out this time reversal property also, right? So see, here it is negative of reversed time signal. So negative means the amplitude gets reversed. So sine is one of the example, sinusoidal signal. See, this is the sinusoidal signal. Now if you take the image along this vertical axis, it will flip, and after flipping we will get this signal, just like say. Now if we take the negative of the signal, means amplitude is reversed. So what will we get? We will again get this signal, and this is actually our original signal, that is x of t. So here we can say that yes, x of t equals to x of minus t, then it is odd signal, right? Now there is some characteristics of the signals. See, one of the characteristics of the signal is the symmetry. So symmetry means that even signal and odd signal are actually symmetric. So let's discuss that symmetry. That may be useful for the signal analysis. Even signals are actually symmetric about vertical axis. So this is even signal and it is symmetric about its vertical axis. It is actually cos. Then odd signals are symmetric about origin. This is origin, okay, and it is symmetric about their origin. And there is one more property, that these odd signals always pass through origin, right? So using these definitions, there is one decomposition that each and every signal can be divided into odd part and even part of a signal, right? So we can say that every signal is made up of, or is a combination of even parts and odd parts. See, so this is x of t. Let's say this is x of t. We were having a signal x of t, which is a combination of even part and odd part. Now, what is that even part and what is odd part? So we can find that even part and odd part as well. See, we know that x of e, that is this suffix e, is showing you that this is even part, and this suffix o is showing you that this is odd part, right? So x of t, this phrase can be again rephrased as, see, x of t, we know that it is equals to, in this we can say that x of even, if it is even, then it will be equals to the counterpart, that is a negative reverse part. Okay, so x of t, this can even can be written as x of minus t and divided by 2, so it will again come out to be x of et, right? Similarly, here x naught of t or x o of t can be represented at x of t minus x of minus t divided by 2. Okay, so this representation is there. Then if we compare this signal so with this one, so we will get x e of t equals to this one. Okay, so x of e of t equals to half x of t plus reverse signal x of minus t. And if we take this again reversal of this signal, we will get 1 by 2 x of minus t plus x of t. So ultimately what we are getting, that this even signal can be find out by adding both the signals, that is x of t and x of minus t, and dividing it by 2. Similarly, we will get the odd signal also. So odd signal is actually the division half of the subtraction of x of t minus x of minus t, right? So this is our odd signal and this is our even signal, right? So here from these two formulas, this one and this one, we can find out the even part and odd part of any signal, right? So just take an example. So here we can see that there is a plot, or we can say there is an signal x of t, and it is defined by k e to the power minus t ut, right? So this signal, then we have to find out the odd part and even part of this signal. So we are having x of t, so by using the previous formulas we can find out the this even and odd part. See, x even of t equals to 1 by 2 x of t plus x of minus t, right? Simple. So just we will put the values over here. So x of t is as it is, k e to the power minus ut plus x of minus t. So x of minus t means that each and every time will be replaced by minus t. Okay, the time period, or sorry, the time value or the variable time which is available into the signal can be replaced by minus t. So here this x of t will be replaced by x of minus t. So k e to the power t u of minus t. We will get this over here. So and for odd signal, so odd signal can be represented at x naught of t equals to 1 by 2 k e to the power minus t ut minus k e to the power t u of minus t, right? Now what you have to do, see, we have to find the even. So we have already find the even and odd parts, and we have to just represent these signals. See, this signal can be represented as, we can break the signal over here. It can be break down as k by 2 e to the power t u of t. Similarly, k by 2 e to the power t u of minus t. So u of minus t is actually, see, this is u of t. Okay, I'm writing over here u of t, and this is u of minus t, right? Okay, so here this one, k of e to the power t. So k of e to the power t is actually exponentially rising function. Okay, so this will be multiplied by this function u of minus t, and see, I'm just writing or putting the signals also. This is exponentially decaying function, this is e to the power minus t, and this is e to the power plus t. So here k times of e to the power ut. So both these functions will be multiplied and we will get this one, and similarly both these functions will be multiplied, we will get this one, right? So they both are plotted, so we can say that individually we can add them or subtract them as per the requirement of the calculation of odd and even part. So for the even part, we can see that this is addition, so we can just add both the signals, and after adding both the signals we will get this as a final signal, right? So this is our even part, and for subtraction, or we can say that for the odd part, you have to take the negative of this signal, right? So whatever the signal is available over here, you just take the negative. That negative means we are just reversing the amplitude of the signal. And how the amplitude of the signal is reversed, just take the image from according to the horizontal axis. So if we will take the image of this signal along this horizontal axis, we will find the negative of this signal. So after that we will add this signal and the reversed signal, right? So we will get this one. This is our odd signal, right? So if you are having a signal x of t, you can find and plot the even part and odd part of the signal, right? After that, we will discuss about the periodic and aperiodic signals. See, periodic signal and aperiodic signal. We have already discussed about the time period of the signal. Here we are going to discuss it about once again. So a signal which repeats itself after some particular interval of time, they are known as periodic signals, right? So periodic signal generally can be represented as x of t equals to x of t plus minus n t naught. So what are these terms? Where n is always an integer, and this t is the particular time period, okay, time t naught. Here t naught is known as the fundamental time period, and ftp represented as ftp, and it is never 0 and infinity, okay. Once we will talk about the Fourier analysis, Fourier series analysis, we will come to that also, and under that condition we take time as this periodic fundamental time period as infinity. So we will discuss something about this in Fourier series. Then fundamental time period, what is this? So see, if you are having signal just like a sinusoidal signal, right? If we are having a sinusoidal signal just like this one, okay, so I'm just erasing this part. Now we can see that the function or this function is repeating itself after pi, just like say this is pi and 2 pi. So after pi it is repeating, and after 2 pi it is again repeating. So can we say that the time period could be this one, 2 pi also, because it is the time period after which the signal is repeating. So if we talk about 2 pi, after that also the signal is repeating itself, and after pi again it is repeating. So the this pattern continues, and after 3 pi, 4 pi, several pi's, so it will repeat itself. Now, what is fundamental time period? So fundamental time period is actually some special time period after which we can say that this is fundamental. See, what is the speciality? The speciality that it is the minimum time period after which the signal repeats itself. Okay, so here we can see that pi is the minimum time period after which the signal will repeat. Okay, so can you tell me that this signal which is in front of you, is it periodic or not? Periodic or aperiodic signal? See, we can see that this is 0 and this is continuously increasing into the right hand side of the signal, and it is just like continuously going over there, right? So under this condition it seems to be periodic, but this is non-periodic signal. Why? Because before 0 it is 0. Okay, so this we cannot say that the signal is repeating itself, because we are having nothing over here, right? So if there is a continuity in negative time period also, negative time half also, then it has, see, if it is periodic it will be present for every time. Okay, so we can say that for negative time it is not present, that's why it is aperiodic. So if a signal is just like this one, okay, continuously available into this left hand side also, then we can say that yes, it is periodic in nature, right? This is fundamental time period. So okay, so this is all about the signal which is periodic or non-periodic. Now if you are having combination of signals, right? So if there are two signals which are combined with each other, and you have to find out that yes, if this signal is periodic or not periodic. Okay, so in the previous slide also, when we were having this odd and even part, so you have seen that the odd part was find out by summation or subtraction of two different signals, right? But here it is just like this is one of the example in which we can say that this is cos omega 1t and cos omega 2t are two different signals. Okay, now these two different signals can be combined to form one signal, and that signal can be periodic or aperiodic, right? So particularly individually those signals will be periodic in nature, but what if they are combined? So if they are combined, so we have to just find out the individual time period of the signals. So this is, let's say this is our function number 1, this is function number 2. If it is having time period t1, just like say over here this is, and this is time having time period t2 over here, just like this, we will take the ratio and we will calculate that ratio. Okay, so if this is the ratio omega 1 upon omega 2 is m upon n for this particular signal. Now this m upon n must be a rational number, then only we can say that this signal is periodic, and after that we can find out the time period of that combined signal, right? So if it is not rational, it will be aperiodic, right? So here we are having one of the example. In this there are two signals, cos of tan t and cos of tan t plus pi upon or multiply by t, right? We have to find out whether this signal is periodic and or non-periodic, right? So just take the time periods of two different signals, omega 1 divided by omega 2. Omega 1 is 10 and omega 2 is 10 plus pi. T or t gets cancelled. Here we get 10 upon 10 plus pi. So here we can see that due to the presence of this pi, this is irrational, right? So if it is irrational, this is non-periodic signal. Okay.